Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Brothers, sisters, parents, and kids, youth, all the family members. Welcome to Aman Institute. We have today a session, a very important topic that concerns the youth and the family and everybody in the society, which is planning. You have vision for the next station and plan for the future. Our youth, they suffer. Please, everyone, please mute except the speaker, okay? They suffer sometimes from lack of educational vision. They go to the life to learn and they have no vision. This is a big problem because they may have tried that and that and that and waste their money, waste their time, waste their age. And after 3 or 4 years, they find their destination. So in that, we're gonna teach them, the youth, whoever in high school, in middle school, how to plan for the future. But before going to that, I want to give you a little idea about Aman Institution. Aman Institute is non-profit organization, works to help Muslim youth and youth in general for intellectual security through spread awareness and education for youth and guardians. What is intellectual security? Intellectual security is to protect the individual and the society minds from harmful influences like misinformation, extremism, and manipulation. Alhamdulillah, we have carried out different programs and sessions, classes with many of specialists. We carried out, alhamdulillah, Tanweer program. Have many classes and sessions. Let's take just some of them. Parenting class with Chaplain Darin and Brother Osman Dankoa and Muhammad Sulaiman. Gender confusion, Brother Osman Dankoa. Bullying and school academic performance by David Rushton. Emotional, like depression and something like that by Dr. Brain Noel. Screen and social media awareness by Dan Wood and David Sanchez. Extramarital affairs by Dr. Brain Noel. Gender identity affairs by Brother Muhammad Sulaiman. Healthy and safety by Dr. Ryan Adams and others programs. Alhamdulillah, that's since 2021 until now. Beside these programs, we printed out many researches and books, like research about intellectual security for youth in America, that's in Arabic and English. Deviation for religious thoughts, Arabic and English. The Islamic theory for intellectual security, Arabic and English. Intensity of intellectual security necessity, Arabic and English. Please mute everyone, please, except the speaker, please. Okay. The bridge for new Muslim who convert to Islam, embrace Islam. They have curriculum, help them to practice Islam step by step. That book very essential, very important, and we printed it out like 3 or 4 times. That in English. My guide in Tawheed help the youth, help all the community about their iman, their faith, their Tawheed to be pure and clean from any mistakes. That's in English and Spanish. Tafsir Juz' Amma last part in the Quran that made in Spanish, Espanol. 40 hadith for Hajj, that's in English, and hadiths of Sawm, Siyam, that's in English. All these books and researches available in the office if you want to copy. It's free for the community. Now we have program which is American Muslim Youth Crisis. American Muslim Youth Crisis. This is very important because that's touch the problems, the troubles that may some of youth suffer from. So we try to give them awareness, give them solutions, help for their problems. So we carried out until now like 11 or 12, and today is number 13. Let's count one of them and then go to the our speaker inshallah today, Professor Khaldoun, inshallah. Please mute. Blind mimic that happened like 2 years ago with Sheikh Islam Mus'ad rahimahullah, Imam of Masjid Aisha for a while. Next one, youth and lack of spirituality with Imam Muhammad Haq, used to be in Round Rock. Respect parents, Sheikh Islam again. Coding in Scratch, Dr. Khaldoun, the speaker of today, he made twice before. Youth and lack of knowledge, Brother Habib Salami, prepared to be chaplain in the army. Screen time, Brother Faizan Raouf. Racism, Brother Abdul Hadi. Youth and lack of motivation, Brother Chaplain Jamal Bey. Friendship, companionship, boyfriend and girlfriend, Brother Abdul Rahman Dankoa, give them advices about this, matter. Anti-violence, Chaplain Jamal Bey, and cartoon in Scratch, Dr. Khaldoun. For topic of today is very essential, very important, brothers and sisters, youth, lack of vision in education. Youth and lack of vision in education. Just little introduction, presentation in 2-3 minutes, and leave Professor Khaldoun to talk, inshallah. Vision for education in Islam, Islamic way as a religion, help us and teach us to plan and develop our life, okay, educational life. So Islam includes the entire development for human personality by integrating faith with knowledge, critical thinking, and moral character. It is an obligation and duty over the true Muslim to seek knowledge. It's wajib dini. It is an obligation for any Muslim to learn and keep on learning from birth to death. No end, no time to end your knowledge. Your knowledge is forever until we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This ummah, this nation is nation of Iqra. First word ever in our holy book, Al-Quran, read, O Muhammad, read 3 times. To seek knowledge, both secular and religious. To have better understanding for Allah's creation around us, reflect and think, and contribution to society. Learn, think, reflect, contribute. The final goal is to build faithful, skillful, and knowledgeable character. Look at that. It's very important to learn, youth. The final goal is to build faithful, skillful, knowledgeable character, Muslim, who able to function successfully and contribute positively to the community. We can put this thing in our vision, which is plan and discover for youth and parents. Youth and parents, plan and discover early. This is the duty of parents and youth to plan for youth future early. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَأَعِدُّوا, prepare yourself. وَأَعِدُّوا, prepare yourself for everything. In your life, you have to prepare yourself for the coming event actions. Select number two, select what you love and compatible with your skills and abilities. Do not look at that and that my cousin, that my friend, that my neighbor, but the most important to be successful in your field. So look at what you love and try to involve in that, and do not compare yourself with others, because everybody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him special skills, special abilities. So we try to discover these skills, discover these talents, these abilities in ourselves, and then build on that. That's make you successful character and person. Please mute. Okay. This is the job of parents. Observe your child early to discover the talents and gifts. I see my child, he's good in mathematics and had good grades in mathematics. So I should put him in the field of engineering and mathematics and all that stuff. My child love biology, love science, love that chemicals and that stuff. Go put the direction for that field and so on. So the parents and also grades should be good in the school. So in that field, we discover early, as a parent, discover early and then put our child in the right track. So parents have job for that. Observe and discover early what's suitable with your child. We should know that education in Islam is religious obligation. Religious obligation. Seeking knowledge is a religious duty for every Muslim, both male and female, as emphasized by the first word in the Quran, as we mentioned, Iqra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Alaq, Iqra. Also, our education should be holistic development. My vision is to achieve a balanced growth of the spirituality, intellectually, and feelings. Spirit, intellect, and feelings. By planting faith into whole personality. As a parents, you make, mashallah, good job in that, but we need more. The kids involve more in the masjid. They have classes, yes, and come to the classes, that's good. But beside that, should involve in any other, activity available in the community, in the society, and go from masjid to another, from school to another, religious school, Islamic school, from that to help to build their spirituality. Beside secular knowledge, mathematics, physics, chemistry, all that stuff should be, very powerful and strong in that. So integration of knowledge, it combines religious learning with secular knowledge, encouraging understanding both the spiritual and the material aspects of the life. So the key concepts for that three: number one, tarbiyah; number two, ta'addub; number three, ta'lim. Tarbiyah, ta'addub, ta'lim. Tarbiyah, what tarbiyah means? Tarbiyah, this principle refers to upbringing and emphasizing a holistic and comprehensive development. So it is heavy in the industry when we work with the tarbiyah of the kids early until they stand independent in their life. It takes high struggling and high working with them. Ta'addub, this concept focusing on good manners, discipline, and refinement, including the development of sound social relationships and moral character. Last point, I'm going to leave inshallah to Dr. Khaldoun to talk. Ta'lim, this is acquisition of knowledge itself, which can be both religious and secular, as we mentioned before. So tarbiyah, ta'addub, ta'lim, put in the vision, and parents early discover the talents, the gifts, the skills that my child has. So work and plan for that early. Do not leave him to go to college, try that field and don't like it. And let's try to that field. And from that to that, waste of money, waste of age. Now we go to the major speaker, Dr. Professor Khaldoun. He is professor in Texas A&M University in Killeen. We're going to talk with us about the same topic, inshallah. Dr. Khaldoun, assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can everybody hear me?
And Jazakallah khair for participating with us today, inshallah.
Yes.
وإياكم وإياكم.
Can start. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. So, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Dr. Khaldoun Dhou, and my presentation today is going to be entitled Youth and Lack of Educational Knowledge. So, the way I'm going to do this lecture is that it's going to be an interaction. So, you're going to be a major part of the lecture. So, it's not me just giving the lecture and you're listening. You're going to participate in the lecture via questions, via answers, and I'm going to explain certain topics. We're going to have some interaction that can also help me understand you guys, and you can probably get some thoughts from me, and we can go from there. Now, before I start with the lecture, I just want to remind you of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس الصحة والفراغ. There are two blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us, but many of the people are wasting these: health and free time. Now, if we try to understand this hadith further, نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس, we go to the word مغبون. If we want to understand the meaning of something in Arabic, we want to use the dictionary. It's not like English. We bring it back to the root. So مغبون, we bring it back to the word غبنة. And if we try to understand the word غبنة, we find things that's something missing. Deception, things of that nature. And if you think about, I mean, all of us, they have time, right? And this time that we have right now is our life. When this time is done, that means our life is over. This is very serious. Time is extremely serious thing. I'll always tell kids about it. Sometimes you might not realize it. I'm 10 years old, I'm 15 years old, I have a plenty of time. But down the road, you start realizing and you're like, what did I do in my life? Did I do good education? Did I do anything useful? Did I spend all my time on games and other things, on smartphones? All this can happen. So the purpose of this lecture here is to just make you aware of time, how we can use it efficiently. What can you do to help yourself to grow in terms of religion, because this is one thing, but in terms of other matters that are related to this life, of course, in a halal way. Because as Muslims, according to the Holy Quran, according to all the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, we can enjoy this life. Islam doesn't say don't enjoy this life. No, enjoy this life in a halal way. For example, we can't go ahead and do haram stuff, yes, but we can also do things that we enjoy in a halal way, okay? Let's continue with the slides here. So the time that you have right now, and it's your future. You can think of it this way. For example, you can be good at school, right? And all this, I consider it is like a basis. For example, let's say you want to have a building. You want to have cement, you want to have iron, put in the ground, right? And you want to start the building. Now think about a building that you don't put cement in the ground. No matter how strong that building is going to become, it's still a weak building. You want to think of yourself as the same thing. You go to school right now, you're taking classes in math, you're taking classes in English, you're taking all these classes. I'm sure you guys go to school. And sometimes you might ask yourself, why do I need this? And it's not just you. I was a student at a certain point in my life. I was like you guys. I would go to school and I would question my teachers. Why are we taking this? Why are you guys wasting our time with this math? This is useless. It's not useless. At a certain point of your life, you're going to realize that what you're learning today is the basis and you're going to build on it. It's like a building. You have the first floor, you have the second floor, etc. And think about if you don't have the first floor, how are you going to have the second floor? So everything that you're learning is important. I always tell students to just make sure that this is your time. it's going to reflect your future. And even if you look nowadays at people who are successful in their lives, not necessarily Muslims, I mean, there are lots of people who are successful or non-Muslims. If you look back at their youth, at the days of their childhood, they use their time efficiently. And sometimes you look at people, they're very successful, they're living a very comfortable life, they're having nice cars, etc. These people worked hard at the beginning of their lives. That's why I tell the youth, use the time and work really hard because this is going to reflect your future. Now, in this lecture here, I'm going to talk about some techniques that you can use. We're going to talk about the imagination part. We're going to talk about the subconscious mind and other things that can help you. Any questions so far? Anybody who wants to say something? Okay, let's move forward. Now, here there is one thing which is what do you mean by, one second. Yeah, what does that mean? So we have the health right now. So I'm gonna go back to the hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We mentioned that there are two graces, two blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that many people are not using right. Can someone remind me of those? Fadl, can you remind me?
Yes.
Yeah, what are the two blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that people are not using right? Can you remind me?
Time and wealth. Time.
Exactly. Exactly. So health and the free time. So what does health mean? Health means that means we can walk, we can move, we can think, we can learn, we can do many things right now. We might not realize that this blessing that we have right now, but trust me, people who are in the hospitals, they realize this. They understand what health means. They understand that they can't do things that we're doing right now. They can't walk, for example. They can't go and learn. They're just sitting on beds. So we need to remember this blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this. In fact, there is hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that يصبح على كل سلامة من ابن آدم الصدقة, meaning there is every small piece like of your fingers, and I'm sure Dr. Abdul Jawad knows better than me. Every piece, like for example joint of our body, it has charity that we have to pay every day. So every time we say subhanallah, this is sadaqah. We say alhamdulillah, this is sadaqah. We say Allahu Akbar, this is sadaqah. And to compensate for all of that, we just pray 2 rak'ahs of duha. So we pray 2 rak'ahs of duha. So this is the charity that we're paying. So remember that health is very important. We need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to keep remembering this. The other thing, that's the free time. Now, the issue with the free time is that there are many people in this life, they're not using it correctly. Think about someone is spending hours and hours on video games. Okay? What are they getting out of these video games? Yes, they're gaining some pleasure at a certain point. They might become addicted to these video games. They want to play these video games all the time. But how is this going to help them? For example, they go to the college. I mean, they play the games and then later they go to the college. Uh, these video games are not going to give them any credit towards the college. They're going to look at their grades or anything. They're not going to say, oh, this guy was good at video games, so let's just go ahead and bring him to college. No, I mean, if they're not having good grades, this is just going to be useless. I'm not saying that people should not play video games and shouldn't do any fun in their lives. No, we need to have some type of fun, but we need to have some type of balance, right? I mean, we have some time for ourselves to enjoy. We have some time for our parents. We have some time for our kids. We have some time to learn new things in life. And I always tell students, always keep learning. I'm going to talk about this at the end. And if you think about, if you read every day, if you memorize 2 or 3 verses of the Holy Quran every day, think about how much you're going to memorize by the end of the month. Think about how much you are doing at the end of the year. So we're accumulating the knowledge. I always tell kids to remember this. Do smaller things that can accumulate over time. Trust me, these smaller things are going to become bigger and bigger. And at a certain point, you realize that you have done something in life. Think about, for example, you want to do extra education. For example, let's say you want to learn something about artificial intelligence, and every day you're just learning something. By the end of the month, you accumulated a lot of knowledge that you can use in your career. You can use it to improve yourself. You can even seek, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or have the niyyah is that I want to do this because I want to become a good Muslim. I want to help my community. And you, inshallah, get a reward on that. So let's move to the next slide here. So right now, let's say you have 1 extra hour today. What would you do in this hour to help yourself? Now, this question is for you guys. I'm going to pick some people, probably randomly, and I want you guys to answer me. So let me go through the names here. So I see Muhammad Amda Abdul Hamid. Muhammad Amda Abdul Hamid, if you have 1 extra hour today, what are you going to do? Are you guys there?
Yes.
Okay, then can you answer me? What are you going to do?
Read the Quran.
Read Quran. This is a very good thing. So you see, they think about reading Quran. Let's think about this from different perspectives. So Muhammad and Abdul Hamid said if they have 1 hour today, they'll inshallah read Quran Kareem. So now one thing, they're gonna read the Quran, they're gonna get rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. They have the intention to, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're gonna get the reward for it. Now they might go and teach other people. So Muhammad and Abdul Hamid might read Quran, they become good, they go to the Sheikh, they become Hafid, or at least they know it. They might teach it to their little kids, right? Now they get the rewards for it. Now think about let's say they teach it to their kids or to other Muslims or to other kids. The other kids are going to memorize it. They're going to teach it to other people. So these guys are going to get the rewards that for reading Quran. They're going to get the rewards of other people who are reading Quran. And even for other people of teaching other people, they're getting the reward for it. So think about the accumulation of the thawab they're going to get, inshallah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just by doing this. So you think sometimes we think that, oh, it's just an hour, we're going to read Quran, we're going to memorize, it's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. Think about it. I mean, because the scales of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are different than our scales. Think about they're going to read it, they're going to teach it to others, others are going to teach it to others, so they're accumulating all the rewards, okay? But remember that we always need to make the niyyah, or the intention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I'm going to pick on other people. Hamido, if you have 1 hour, what are you going to do? You're muted, actually. I think you need to remove the mute so that you can...
Unmuted.
Yeah, unmuted. There is a button there.
What you gonna do if you got 1 hour to
1 hour. What are you going to do?
I think so.
shower?
And brush your teeth and eat your breakfast.
Okay.
And pray.
Okay, you ask him to over there and pray, right? Okay, you have to pray, okay? Sheko, if you got 1 hour today, what you gonna do? Talk.
Brush your teeth. Pray outside. And pray garage.
Okay, what about praying? You have to pray, okay? And then learn Bismillah, okay? Okay.
Okay, so I know the sound was not very clear, but I got
Yeah, I tell
definitely...
you, they said Abiba said she gonna take a shower, brush her teeth, and then pray. And then Dahoud said he's gonna do the same thing. And then I said to not forget to learn Arabic school and then pray too.
Okay, that's awesome. So if you think about it, let's just go ahead and just do some dissection to what they said. So in Islamic cleaning, we need to be clean. We're Muslims. Yeah. So this is one thing. Let's finish here. And you want to say something, Fadil?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would learn Nurani and learn Quran.
That's a good thing. MashaAllah. What else?
Muhammad raise hand.
Anybody want to say something? Go ahead and say something. Anybody wants to say something?
Okay.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
Something? What did you say?
Extra hour.
Yeah, Samsung, go ahead and say Samsung, and then we can go back to Fadl. Samsung, you need to unmute yourself. I see your hand.
A class.
Kelas perhatian or anas or asalat.
Oh, mashallah. What else? Anybody wants to say something? Fadl, you want to say something?
If I have an extra hour, meaning like I already prayed, I already like learned Quran, I would take a walk and give charity.
Okay, nice. Now, who else? Samsung. I don't know what your name is, but I see Samsung. You want to say something?
I would do my homework and afterwards we would do Quran together.
Mariam, see your name, Mariam.
Mariam?
My name is Mariam.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's go back and do them some dissection, and anybody who wants to say anything after that, he's more than welcome. So I hear things that cleaning, reading Quran, reading Nurani, other things. So if you think about all these things, these are all great things. Let me give you an example here. Let's just take a virtual analogy that doesn't exist. So think about, we're gonna say, okay, if you go ahead and memorize one surah of the Holy Quran, we're going to give you $10,000. And if you teach it to other people, every person who's going to learn it from you, he's going to get another $10,000. By the way, this is virtual. I'm not going to give you $10,000 just to just to make you think of it. Okay, so any person. So let's say Ahmed is going to learn Surah Al-Ikhlas. He's going to get 10,000. He's going to teach it to 10 kids. So for every kid, they're going to get 10,000. And these kids are going to teach it to other kids. So think about it, they're going to teach it to 10 kids. And these 10 kids, every one of them is just going to teach it to 10 other kids. They're going to get 10,000 and it's going to continue. So think about how many 10,000s you're going to get. Isn't this a good investment? It's an excellent investment. I mean, I think we're all dream of this. And if I'm going to get $10,000, I'm going to be motivated. I think everybody's going to be motivated by doing that, right? Now, forget about the 10,000. Think about the reward that you're going to get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These $10,000 is just nothing compared to what we're going to get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So always think of the good things that you're doing in that way. Think about you're going to learn Holy Quran, right? You're going to teach it to others. They're going to teach it to others, and you're going to take the reward of all these people, inshallah. But remember, it's important to do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the niyyah, the intention is very important. Think about someone who wants to teach the Quran of others just because he wants people to say he's a good person, he's teaching Quran, oh, he's amazing. But he doesn't care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This guy is not going to get any reward. A'udhu billah. So always think about these things. Think about, okay, I have some time right now. What am I going to do with it? If you don't have anything to do, think about doing something like doing the Holy Quran, helping other Muslims, doing other things that can help you even in this life, but make sure the intention is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because sometimes we might do things that don't seem to be religious. Think about, for example, I want to go and learn mathematics. Yes, mathematics is not something related to Islam, that's fine, but it can help me. It can take me to something to help my ummah. For example, you can learn about computer design, designing websites, etc. You can design websites for the ummah, something that can help you. Even if you are doing something to earn money, you are doing this to invest in your family, to help the kids grow better, to make money in a halal way that you can give it to your kids to go to Islamic schools, to do other things that can help the ummah. Again, make sure the intention is always for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is really important. Now, what's vision? Vision is that knowing where you want to go, even if the road is very long. And trust me, the road is very long, sometimes can be. For example, right now you go to school, but you would want to think, what do I want to become in the future? What do I like? For example, some people might like mathematics, like Dr. Abdul Jawad said. Some people might like mathematics, okay? Some people might be in school, they don't like math much, but they enjoy more things that are like, for example, linguistics. They might enjoy things like, for example, related to talking, things that are related to advertising, etc. So these people might fit better into marketing domain. Always remember, see what you like and talk to people. talking to people is really important. Let's say, for example, you go to masjid, okay? In the masjid, you're going to see people with different skills. I mean, you're going to see, mashallah, doctors. You might see people who are doing business. You might see people who are professors. You might see people who work in the military. I mean, you see people of different types. Always remember to have these connections and talk to these people. For example, discuss with them. There are also sometimes events at the university. For example, I'm a professor at Texas A&M Central Texas, and we have probably a day a year where this day is open for families and you know students or people from school. They come to the university and we have tables and they ask about these majors, like what's this major, why people want to go, for example, information systems, people want to go to medicine, people want to go to computer science. And trust me, every single major needs some skills and some preferences. You might think you might fit in one major, but by you going and talking to people, you might realize that this is not something I want. It's different. So that's why I always encourage students and encourage families to know what's going around. See what majors are available. Some majors, it might take you 10, 15 years with one major, but you earn much less money than if you earn another major with 2, 3 years of experience. This is the market, and there are tons of things that you probably don't know, but you will know these things from the experts. So that's why always have a vision of what you want. Think about what you want, but at the same time, talk to people. Talking to people is really important. Now I'm gonna have some smaller session with you guys. I want to pick randomly, and if you want to talk, please raise your hand as well of what's your vision in life and what do you want to do in life, just to hear from you guys. Let's just start from, again, I'm picking randomly. If you want to talk, just raise your hand. So I do have Aziza. So Aziza, what do you want to become in the future? And what's your vision here? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I think you're muted, Aziza.
Yeah. Aziza, Aziz. Yeah.
Okay.
You understand? Parents can help.
Yeah. So, if Aziz is not there, yeah, Aziza, yeah, talk. Yeah, I see you're unmuted. Just
Understand the
talk.
question, Aziza?
I think she didn't understand the question.
Yeah. So, what do you want to be in the future? What do you want to become? What are your dreams for the future?
Do you want to become in the future?
He,
Doctor.
Say it. I want to become a doctor.
So, you want to
I
become a
want to
doctor?
become a doctor.
okay.
Inshallah.
Okay. So, you want to become a doctor. That's good. Now, what are the subjects that you like, and how do you imagine the life of doctor is going to be?
What do you like?
Um,
Social studies? Social science?
uh-huh.
She said she likes social science.
So, she likes social sciences and she wants to be a doctor.
Let her speak. Don't her parents speaking.
Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So, Aziza, you can raise your voice so that we can hear you.
Aziza,
Mm.
speak louder. I don't know.
Hmm?
So basically,
Uh-huh.
when she said her dream is to become a doctor. But I
Okay.
think meanwhile, she just like drawing for now. I
Okay.
think it will have something to do with, sketching body parts, human body parts and stuff.
Okay.
I
That's,
believe.
yeah.
So social science is one part that she likes. She like drawing, right?
Okay. So Aziza likes to become a doctor because Aziza, she likes to deal with people. I assume because she mentioned the social science, she enjoys, learning about the body, etc. So this is a good thing. So Aziza, for example, can work on improving this, for example, by, for example, going to the library, reading about, the human body, reading about things. So this is gonna become like a hobby, but this is gonna grow. So right now she's probably like 7 years old, probably, I assume. And, after that, she's gonna learn, and every time she learns something, and then when she goes to the middle school, she goes to the high school, she focuses on biology and other subjects. So she becomes very strong. So she builds a strong background and she goes to the medical school. Now let's pick another person. I will pick the guys who are raising their hand. Ilyas, what do you want to become?
I want to become an Olympian, a
Okay,
soccer
so
player in the
you want to
Olympics.
become an athlete.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Now, why do you want to become an athlete? Like, what's your motivation?
because I think running and soccer and the athletes are cool. I played a lot of soccer, especially like yesterday. I was sleeping in the car, and then we drive by the masjid, and I see Mohammed and Amari. They're playing soccer, and then I'm just like, and then my dad reminds me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, drop me off, drop me off. And I was so tired, but once I heard the soccer, I just like jumped up.
Okay.
And it's also good for your health and mind.
Okay. I mean that's also a good dream. What I always suggest is that people can have different things. I mean, for example, you can do soccer while doing other things at the same time. So when you think of soccer, I always encourage the students is that, I mean, yes, soccer, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's not bad for health. No, it's very good for health, actually. And it's important to keep doing sports and to have, in our niyyah that we want to have strong bodies that can help, help us worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at the same time, you can also think of other things. For example, we might think, okay, I want to become a soccer player, but at the same time, I want to have another job. For example, I want to be an engineer or something. I remember I was a chess player in the past when I was at school. I was actually a chess champion, and I met many chess players who have other jobs. For example, this guy is a chess champion. He is like the champion of the country, but at the same time, he has another job like electrical engineer or whatever. So you can always think of different things, This is my recommendation. But what you have is really good, It can help us grow healthy, etc. Now, Fadl, what do you want to become?
I want to
What is
be
your vision?
I also want to be an engineer.
That's a good thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, engineering is a good thing,
And
but
then and the first one to land on Mars.
oh, mashallah. Yeah, mashallah. But always talk to engineers, talk to people from the major, see what that major requires. And I always encourage people. I have engineering background, by the way. I am a computer
Yeah.
engineer when I did my undergrad. You
I
need a
went to
lot of mathematics. I'll go ahead.
I went to Cockrell yesterday, and it was really fun.
It,
Cockrell.
it's Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But remember, when you want to go with the engineering school, you need a lot of mathematics. Engineering it's all about mathematics, and you all have to do it by hand, by the way. They don't, I mean, if you're doing, let's say, finance or anything, because I have done some finance, you can use these calculators, etc. Not like engineering. Engineering, everything is just by hand. You have to do it by yourself. But it's a
Good
lot of fun.
because I love mathematics.
That's a good thing.
I've been loving math since I was like in kindergarten.
That's a good thing. Keep learning math and keep going with it because it's just gonna get harder with time. It's not like I'm gonna scare you, but trust me, once you hit like the high school, you go to the university, once you start taking these math classes, they're gonna get harder and harder. But if you have the good background, you can continue. This is what I always tell students. It's like a building, like I mentioned. You have the first floor that's strong on a strong basis, you can continue building and you become stronger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khairan.
Yeah, وإياكم. Now I know Asif probably or Muhammad want to say something. Guys, do you want to say something? Asif, what do you want to become? Asif, I think I'm talking from a different place. Asif, do you hear me? I think you guys are I'm muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Hey, excuse me.
Yeah.
He is actually hearing you.
Okay, Asif, what do you want to become in the future? And same question goes for Muhammad.
What do you want to do? Pilot.
Oh, you want to become a pilot. Okay, so Asif wants to become a pilot. He likes to be a pilot. So I think Asif needs to see, look at the math that he likes the math in school, etc. Also need to work hard in school because, pilot will require different skills, But it's a good thing. Always remember, Asif, that you want to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we do things that can help us both in life and hereafter. Muhammad, do you want to say anything, Hamoudi?
Yeah. I don't speak. He's a little bit shy. It's fine.
Muhammad's shy. He doesn't want to say anything. I know he wants to become a policeman, Muhammad, catching thieves, etc. So that's a good thing, Muhammad. We can talk about. I'm gonna give you the time to talk about. Fadil, I see that you're raising your hand. You just need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
I wanna learn how to do rocket science and also become a teacher in mathematics.
Become a teacher in mathematics. That means you have to work on your mathematics,
Yeah,
obviously.
in middle school. What do you
Yes.
That says she wants to.
Mhm.
So when I grow up, I wanna be a teacher.
Teacher.
Nice.
MashaAllah.
Very nice. Yeah. And always remember, when you want to become a teacher, make sure that you want to teach kids and make sure that you want to do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to teach these kids to become better and you're seeking, Allah.
Ami ma adájọ́ yan Ami Fatus Zeda Amina. Wa nang sinig. Wa.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Hamido? Oh, yeah.
Wa.
Who's talking right now? Alio, Nias?
There is Muhammad Waqif. Raise his hand.
Muhammad Waqf, yeah, go ahead.
Wait.
Muhammad Waqif, what do you want to be in the future?
I want to be a. I want to be a Hafiz Quran.
Hafiz,
Oh,
mashallah.
mashallah, it's a very, very good thing. Yeah, but
Mashallah.
yeah, that's a very good major, actually. I'll always tell students when they have a dream, before you go to bed, the last 45 minutes, and I want you guys to remember this in psychology, this is really important. The last 45 minutes before you go to bed are very, very, very important. You can use them in a good way, you can use them in a bad way. So if you're thinking about something, let's say, for example, you want to become Hafid, you want to memorize Quran, make sure you read it before you go to bed, at least the 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And this is not something I'm saying, this is like what psychologists are saying, is that memorize this Quran and keep thinking positive of what you want and then dream. Now, when you dream, thinking of that, your subconscious mind is going to keep thinking of this. And this is going to reinforce your positive thinking or become Hafid or become an athlete or become something. Let's always tell students to do that. Now, I know we have some people raising your hands. Let's just go ahead and give them some time. Alia, you want to say something?
Yes.
I want to be
Speak loud.
I want to be a doctor.
Oh, mashallah.
MashaAllah, physician. Yeah, that's really awesome. You need to work really hard for that, but it's worth it to become a doctor, yes. AKA, yeah, go ahead.
There's gonna be a lot of doctors, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. AKA?
Daddy. Okay.
I see Muhammad Waqif. So anybody who, unmutes himself can talk.
Okay, go. Talk.
Um.
Speak over there. Speak louder. Say Assalamu alaikum. My name is Adi Fufana.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Say I wanna be.
I want to be a nurse because I can help others. Because if they
hurt, or sick. Or have dreams.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you want to become? I'm sorry, I missed it. You said a nurse?
Speak louder.
Okay.
I wanna become.
I want to become a nurse because because if they sick or hurt or juice.
Okay, so she wants to become a nurse. I mean, it's a good thing. It's helping the ummah, etc. Remember that there's topics that you need to focus on. Dr. Abjad, you want to say something?
No, you just wanna prove she wanna help others.
Yeah, of course. I mean, always helping others, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something we get reward for. So remember that if you want to become a nurse or a doctor, anything for helping others, keep this in your mind. I want to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to do this to help others, is one thing, and to earn halal income from which I can help my family, etc. I know some people are raising their hands, so I'm going to be really quick because we have other material to cover. Hamid, you want to say something?
I see Mariam, Samsung.
Mariam Samsung?
Wanna click?
Mariam, go ahead.
So when I grow up, I want to become an athlete and a doctor.
Oh, mashallah, very good.
MashaAllah, that's really good. Yeah, yeah. You gotta work really hard on both. Yeah. Who else? So remember that as a comment. So some people mentioned becoming an athlete. So if you want to become an athlete, always keep in your mind, think about how you can turn this into ibadah. Like for example, I want to become an athlete because I want to stay healthier. I want to use this health to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is something you inshallah get a reward for. And then after that, you want to become a doctor, etc. You want to help others. Also have the niyyah, you want to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mariam, you want to say something else?
No.
Because I see that you're raising your hand. That's okay. So I think we can move forward to the next part. And again, if anybody is having any questions, just raise your hand. I will let you talk here, and I'm gonna switch to the next slide. So remember that there are three things here, and I learned this from one of the Muslim professors that I know. He said always remember three things: smile, make istighfar. Istighfar means ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. Astaghfirullah. And the last thing is that, renew your intention, renew your niyyah. So every time you're doing something, keep revising your niyyah. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing, for example, why am I going to the gym, for example, and playing sports? Well, I'm doing it to become stronger. I want to use this to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to use my health to help other Muslims, etc. So everything that we're inshallah getting reward for. And the other thing is that istighfar, and I always tell people is that don't forget to make istighfar. And this advice is first to myself actually, because according to the Holy Quran, قلت استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا يرسل السماء عليكم مدرارا ويمددكم بأموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم أنهارا. So there are lots of good things that can happen when we make istighfar. And sometimes even if we have a problem or have anything, the first thing that we should remember is make istighfar. Let's say, for example, you're stuck with something and you're going to see, I'm sure you right now probably didn't hit 18 years old or older, but later in your life, you realize that life has lots of issues that we need to think of. So always remember, keep in mind istighfar. If you have a problem, if you have something, just sit and make istighfar 1,000 times. That's a really good thing. In my opinion, this is the best thing that you can do it to solve problems. Now let's move forward. So, why youth feel lost sometimes. Now, I was talking to different people actually, people including one of my friends who was a school teacher for a long time. And he mentioned many things. He mentioned the screen time, the gaming. This is wasting a lot of kids' time. I always tell students is that don't spend too much time on the screen unless you're doing something useful. Some people they sit behind computer games for a long time. I remember when I was a child, and again, we lived a different childhood than you guys because I'm from a different generation. Anybody want to say something? Okay. So please mute yourself because when you don't mute yourself, it sometimes it can result in some noise. So if you're not talking, please mute yourself. So one of the yeah, go ahead. I think yeah, okay. So anybody want to say something? Father, you want to say something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
When I was younger, my mom told me that back in her generation, there was like less technology, so the kids wouldn't spend much time on like technology. But meaning that like in future generation, the kids will spend much time on technology. Would that become a problem?
Yes, I'm going to talk about this in a second. So the technology, let me tell you my experience. Now, when I was at your age, we didn't have computers actually at that time. There were computers, but only very, very few people are going to use them. Now, when we want to read books or anything, there was nothing like electronic books or anything. We have to go to the library, we have to get the books. And sometimes we might not, it's not like right now you put the book name on Google and you might find the PDF and you read. It was not like this. You have to go either buy it or find it from a certain library and something like this. Now, I would say that was a good thing because that would force us to read. We didn't have any other information. We did not have the AI to solve our problems. So right now you have a question, you give it to the AI, is going to give you the answer. It was not like this. Even when I went to the university at that time, if you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer. Even the homeworks, by the way. I mean, we didn't have any other source. We have to go and ask the teacher, and sometimes he wouldn't give us the solution. So that would encourage us to learn, etc. We didn't have other choices. Now, kids have so many choices. I mean, right now you have the iPads, you have the iPhones. I remember when I went to the university, we didn't have an iPhone or even a smartphone. I mean, I remember being like in my third year or something at the university when I got a phone that just has the numbers. It didn't have internet. So this technology sometimes it's a bad thing, and I always encourage the kids try to reduce your time on the technology unless you're doing it for something useful. If you're just using the technology for gaming, for things that you think they're gonna give you some pleasure, trust me, this is just temporary. But that time is just wasted out of your life. You didn't do anything useful. Always think of your time as the example I told you at the beginning. You teach one child how to memorize Al-Ikhlas, a small surah, you're going to get 10,000. They're going to teach it to others. For every child, they're going to teach it to, you're going to get 10,000, and that chain is going to continue. Now, remember that the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is much, much bigger than this. It's not 10,000, it's much, much more. It's something that we never even dream of. So always think of your time when you do something as something that is going to help you in this life and the hereafter. If there is something that's not going to help you, like for example, you're just playing games and you're spending hours and hours, I would say you're wasting your life. At a certain point, when you are serious where you want to go to the college, etc., you will not find enough credit to take you to the college, like you don't have good grades, etc., because some people they just spend their time on gaming. Now, the other thing is that some people think that they're just still young, so there is a plenty of time for them to do. I would say this is wrong because even if you're young, try to use your life. Use it. I mean, be good at school. The subjects that you're learning at school, be good at them because they're going to help you become stronger, right? And the other thing is that when you become good, you can progress fast. Now, the good thing here in the United States is that generally speaking, we have a fair system. If you are good at what you are doing, then you're gonna get into good positions. You're gonna get into a position where you can make money, where you can have good status, etc. That's one thing. Now, the other thing is that the fear of failure, that's very important. And that becomes very dangerous when you want to go to bed and you're just worried about failure. So think about, for example, you go to bed at 9 p.m. as an example, and at 8:30 you start thinking, oh, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. The reason why I'm gonna fail is because other people failed. I know my friend did it and fail. I know these guys did it and fail, etc. So I'm gonna fail. So this is called negative programming. Never ever do negative programming, especially before you go to bed. Before you go to bed, everything should be positive programming. You want to think, no, I want to become inshallah successful. I'm gonna do istighfar. I'm gonna ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me with what I'm doing. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna help me. But before you do all of that, you want to do your homework. So it's like, for example, someone is gonna go to the test, they're not gonna study for the test, and they're gonna say, Allah is gonna help me, I'm gonna get a full grade. You're not gonna get a full grade because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to do what you have to do. قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, right? Um, هو الذي خلق لكم فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه. And we are supposed to do what we have to do first, and then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. It's like we didn't do anything, but we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us. Now, let's move forward. Now, I want you to look at this formula. We have health, we have the time, and we have a vision, and this equals our future. So this is our future is going to be built. And if you think about yourself right now, think of what's going to happen, inshallah, 10 years from now or 15 years from now when you're done with school and where you want to be. So you want to make sure you have the health. It's important. We need to protect it. We need to become healthy. We need to play sports. We need to eat well, etc. This is important. We need to make sure we have the time and we want to use the time very well. Remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. There are two blessings that many people are not using it right. Time, free time, and health. And make sure you also have the vision of what you want to be. This is very important. You have the vision. I want to become a pilot. I want to become a doctor. This is what I want to do in life. It doesn't necessarily mean what you have is going to happen, by the way, because life changes us. But you need to know what's happening by talking to people. You can attend events. Like I said, at the university, they always have events about majors. Make sure you don't miss those events. Make sure you go there. You talk to professors. What's this major? What that major? What's this about? What's this about? Because that can help you understand what's happening. You can also ask about the job opportunities that exist in the market. And this is more to students who are hearing me, who are probably in their 15s or 16 years old. Make sure you understand what's happening. Because sometimes you might like something, but that major is not something that can give you a lot of income in the future. That might be important to some people. So you might do something that is similar, but that can give you more income. Okay. Now, how much time do we have? We have about 30 minutes. So
yes,
always
sir.
ask, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So always ask yourself the three questions. Who I am, try to understand yourself. And what I mean by understanding yourself is that make sure you understand what you like and what you dislike. Are you someone who likes to have freedom? How do you imagine your job in the future? For example, I personally like the job that can give me more freedom. I want to be the boss of myself. I can't take that someone tells me come here at 8 and leave at 5. That's just me. I know not everybody's like me. Now, is this more important than having more money? Yes, this is more important than money to me. Because to me, if you tell me come from 8 and leave at 5 and we're going to give you the double salary, I'll probably say no. That's just me. But again, not everybody is like me. So ask yourself, what do you want to do in the future? What do you like? Do you like a job where you talk a lot to people? Are you more of the social person? Or are you more of a person who is just like to do the work, he doesn't care about socialization, etc.? I'm not saying this is right and this is wrong. It's just different, right? I mean, people are different. Some people like to work with patients, etc. Some people, they don't like to go to hospitals. Like me, for example, I prefer something more technology related, okay? Uh, uh, Ask yourself also what I love. What are the things that I like in my life? And what can lead me to that? Look, so for example, let's say I want to become a doctor. What's going to take me to become a doctor? Maybe you can take extra classes if you are 16 years old or 7 years old, and these classes can help you when you go to the college. Sometimes even when you are in a college, you might want to do masters or you want to do PhD, etc. So sometimes there might be certain things that can take you to that. So for example, if you publish some papers, you're going to get free education. So that's important. So if you want to get free education, go ahead and publish one paper, for example. Again, I'm saying this as an example. And always remember that what you do in life is going to help you. Because let's say, for example, you're doing something small and you're applying for a job. People are going to look at this and they're going to say, hey, wow, he's amazing. Look, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. Even though it might be something small, but it might impress other people. You don't know. So always try to do other things, do volunteering, do learn other things. If you find that there is an opportunity to learn something, go and learn something. Trust me, that time is that you're investing this time on yourself to become better. And it can help you much more than if you're just playing games or other things. I'm not saying don't do fun in your life, do fun in your life, but look at yourself how much fun you're doing. If you're just staying the whole day playing video games, I'm telling you up front, you're absolutely doing something wrong. This is never going to help you in your life. Okay? Now, this is just an example of what I was talking about. So here, let's say, for example, if you think about becoming an engineer, go and talk to engineers, right? Uh, engineering needs math. Engineering is all about problem solving. It's about discipline. You're going to see a lot of advanced courses, mathematical courses that you have to do the math by hand. You're not allowed to use Excel or anything. And they're going to give you paper. You have to do everything by hand. That's just the engineering side of it. Um, if you want to become a doctor, that's a different thing. You know, you need to care more about science. You need to care about biology. That's something you want to improve yourself at. I always tell students, always improve yourself. Always try to be good at school and improve yourself of the subjects that you like. For example, you need to be good at all the subjects, but if you want to become a doctor, make sure you read more about science, make sure you look at the major, make sure you talk to doctors and build your network, because sometimes think about you want to become a doctor. Think about you want to become, you want to get an internship after the high school, you know, to go and do some work that will help you, you know, towards being a doctor or towards being an engineer or something. Sometimes you want to have the connections. So you can have a connection with some people who are doctors or engineers or people from the field. Hey, I need to apply for this. They're asking me for references. They need letters of reference. Can you give me? And all these things, they go by socialization, they go by connections. You can't just go to someone from the street and say, hey, can you give me a letter of reference? They might say, no, we don't know you. But let's say you know some people from the masjid, you know some people from your network, they're like connection of your parents, etc. These people can help you. That's why I said the connections are very important. Make sure that you're connected to people from the majors that you like, and also it doesn't hurt to talk to other people. So let's say you want to think, I want to become a doctor. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't talk to engineers and know about engineering. Maybe you think about being a doctor, but you might not, it might not be something like you like, or maybe something else that's hidden out there and you like it. So always try to explore opportunities. And I'm telling this for the kids. Mariam, I think you want to say something. Go ahead. You're just muted.
Yes. So my question was, so why do we always have to think positively and not negatively when we're about to go to sleep?
I'll tell you why. And I'm going to come to this actually in my lecture, because we have two types of mind. We have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind, it's just a dumb mind. I mean, we just program it the way we want to program it. So think about, if you think positively before you go to bed, the power of the subconscious mind is much, much more than that power of the conscious mind. So what's gonna happen is that you go to bed, your subconscious mind is not gonna go to sleep, by the way, it's gonna keep thinking. So let's say, for example, you go to bed and you think about, okay, I'm gonna become hafiz, I'm gonna memorize the Holy Quran. I went to the masjid today, I memorized, and the Sheikh said that you did well. Okay, so I'm gonna do well, inshallah. Okay, so let's think positively about, you know, becoming hafiz, etc. So you keep thinking about, and you reiterate it, okay, I'm going to memorize the Holy Quran, inshallah, I'm going to become hafiz, etc. So when you sleep, your mind is going to make these ideas much bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's going to help you actually become hafiz. But think about, if you think, oh, I'm not going to memorize because, you know, my friend went there today and he failed. Yes, he failed, but maybe he spent all the time playing video games. Maybe he didn't memorize. Maybe he didn't do his homework. Why would you keep thinking like him or her? So by doing that, your mind, when you sleep, is going to keep thinking of that. Oh, I'm not going to memorize. I'm going to fail. And you will fail, actually, because you will think that way. So that's why I always tell students to keep thinking positively. Does that answer your question? If not, I'm going to, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, nothing.
Okay. So let's move forward. So I always give students 3 steps to start. So the first thing is that you want to discover what you love. You want to learn something small, keep learning. Even if you're learning something very small a day for 5 minutes, trust me, all these things are going to accumulate. So, for example, you can go, okay, I'm going to learn something about the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and make sure you learn from authentic sources, by the way. This is very, very important. You learn something small and you keep doing this every day. And trust me, by the end of the month or the end of the year, you realize that you learned a lot about the Holy Quran and the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, because this is how life goes. Not necessarily about Hadith, but I mean, of course, we need to learn about religion, but you can also learn other things that can help you, in your major, etc. Now, I want you, I know we have an activity time, but maybe due to the time, I will not, I will give you this to do it after the lecture. So I want you to draw or write, your dream in one step to reach it. So this is your activity time. So just have a sheet of paper and just write what I want to be in the future. What do I want, etc. And keep thinking about this. Let's move forward. Now here, this is the fun part actually, the conscious and the subconscious mind. And in fact, I studied this when I was working on my clinical hypnotherapy. And I know clinical hypnotherapy sounds something scary, but it's not. It's a lot of fun. So there are two things, two minds that we can think of. We have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind. I want you kids to pay really good attention to this. So the conscious mind that thinks, decides, and analyzes. So I'm gonna go to the supermarket right now. I want to buy some stuff. That's my conscious mind. Now the subconscious mind, it stores beliefs, feelings, fears, and it does react to them. Now the conscious mind is what programs the subconscious mind. I'll give you an example. So think about, you want to go to bed and the negative thoughts are gonna start coming. I'm just giving an example. You know what? The Sheikh said that I need to memorize this surah, but I'm not gonna memorize it because my friend went there and they did not memorize it. So I'm gonna fail. And tomorrow I'm gonna be embarrassed in front of the Sheikh and in front of other kids because I didn't memorize this. All this is negative thinking. Now, why is this dangerous? Because you're gonna go to bed. Now you see this, I mean, if we think about, you say, okay, I'm not gonna memorize it because my other friends didn't memorize. Well, maybe they didn't do their homework. They didn't spend the time to memorize it. There are many things. But you see, you program the subconscious mind that I'm not gonna memorize it because other kids are gonna do this. And think about the reimbursement, think about my parents, they're gonna feel bad, there might be some punishment, they might not give me candy or whatever. So you keep thinking this way. Now, when you go to bed, guess what happened? What happens? Your subconscious mind is going to keep thinking of all these negative thoughts. And this is the good question that Mariam asked. Keeps thinking about all these negative thoughts. And the morning you wake up and you see that your subconscious mind is just controlling you. And the subconscious mind is very, very powerful. It's much more powerful than the conscious mind. Now, one of the things that's why I always tell students, think positively. Think that you will memorize it because there are other kids who memorized it. There are actually kids 7 years old, they memorize the Holy Quran. Why not becoming like one of them? Can you do it? Yeah, of course you can do it. You can think this way. Okay, the Sheikh gave me this to memorize. I'm gonna memorize it tomorrow. I'm gonna spend my time. I will memorize it. I'm gonna forget about things that are not gonna help me. I'm gonna do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will inshallah teach to other kids. They're gonna get the rewards for it. I'm gonna get the rewards for the other kids who learn from them, etc. And this is how you think about, especially the last 45 minutes before you go to bed. Mariam, I see that you are raising your hand. Do you have a question? You have a
No,
question? Okay, then maybe you can just take the hands off because that way, yeah, okay. So this is the conscious and the subconscious mind. It always tells students, if you don't remember anything from my lecture, make sure that the last 45 minutes before you go to bed are very important. Program yourself of what you want to do and what's going to help you in the future. You can think positively. I want to memorize the Holy Quran. I want to become a doctor. I want to do this. I want to do this because I have seen and bring evidence because the subconscious mind, like I said, it's dumb. It doesn't understand. You just program it the way you want to program it. I'm going to memorize the Holy Quran. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish that, etc. Especially for athletes. Trust me, this concept of subconscious mind is really important. And sometimes think about someone who's thinking negatively. You know what? I'm hurt. That means I'm going to give this, I'm going to give that. And they keep thinking negatively, bad things can happen. So always keep programming, stay positive, and program the subconscious mind in a positive way. and this is gonna help you down the road. Now let's move forward. Now, why is the subconscious mind actually is powerful? Because it believes what it hears repeatedly, even if it's not true. And this is very dangerous. I always tell the kids that even if you say things that are not correct, I'm gonna fail because my friends fail. The subconscious mind is just gonna believe it and it's gonna act on it. So that's why you want to always be positive. Everything that you want to say before you go to bed, make sure it's positive. And try this trick from me. Trust me, this recipe works. Say positive things. Keep repeating on them. Keep dreaming. Okay, I'm gonna memorize the surah. I'm gonna teach it to others. Think about how much reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna give me. Think about that when I do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is gonna be on my side, right? And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your side, there is nothing to worry about in life, by the way. You don't need other people. You don't need anything because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna give you all that you need to help you down the road. Now, when the subconscious mind turns negative, you're not going to be good enough. The subconscious mind is going to store this as truth, although it's not true sometimes. But the subconscious mind, and later you're going to develop the fears of failure, anger, quitting, I want to do this, etc., without any real reason. So every time you think about something, ask yourself, is this real? Trust me, the majority of the time, you're going to see it's just the subconscious mind that just moves us and just makes us do things that we don't want to do or wish not to do just because we're thinking negative about things. And here, again, it's all about, the subconscious mind. So it's very important to always, like I said, to control the subconscious mind and to have positive thoughts. Now, you want to notice any negative thoughts. If you have anything, you want to replace it with a positive thought. Unlike the example that I mentioned, I'm not going to memorize the Holy Quran because my friends didn't memorize it. This is negative. You can say, no, I want to memorize it because there are kids 7 years old or 6 years old, they memorize it. I want to memorize it. And you want to repeat this every day. You want to take a small action, you know, the small action is that okay, you're gonna memorize something, you're gonna go to the sheikh, you're gonna mention the surah. This is an example, and then after that, you want to make dua. You want to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua is very important. I always tell kids, always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua is really, really important because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you a lot of things that you can't get by yourself or even with other people helping you with that. Now, the other thing is that remember the blessing of being a youth. Now, there is hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned 7 categories who will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when there is no shade except the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that one of these is a young person who grew up in the worship of his Lord. So always remember this when you are young. Remember that you're young right now. Now, that youth is not going to last forever. And you can think in this life, you see old people, you see people who are sick, you see people who don't have the health. Always remember that you want to grow up and you spend these days in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when I say the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't mean that we're just praying 24/7, that we're just in the masjid. Everything that we do can be ibadah. I mean, even if you go and you play sports to, protect your health and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is inshallah ibadah. You're doing things, you're helping friends, it's inshallah ibadah. You go to your job and you earn halal income, this is inshallah ibadah. But make sure you have the intention to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember this, avoid things that are haram that you can do when you are young because you want to make sure that you always fill in this category. So your youth is all about energy that you have. It's about health and it's the time. So invest it. And always remember the example that I gave you. You make 10,000 for learning, 10,000 for everybody who's learning, 10,000 for when that chain continues. But remember that the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is much, much more than this. Now, remember that these youth years, you want to use them wisely, so you can learn, you can grow, you can build your dreams that you have. And remember that you're doing right now, and I'm sure you're going to remember my words 10 or 20 years from now, and you're going to come back and you're going to say, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. In fact, you're going to say this no matter what you do. I mean, even when I go back to my And remember, I'm like, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. I mean, we can't say that we make 100% correct decisions, but what I always advise students that use this time, try to learn and always ask for the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you choose the right path for you that can help you both in this life and also in the hereafter, not just this life. Let's continue. Now, it's important to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is called tawakkul. And when we're talking about tawakkul, is that it's not like we're gonna go to exam, I'm not gonna study, I'm making tawakkul Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is gonna help me, I'm gonna get 100%. This is not tawakkul. This is called tawakkul actually. And tawakkul means you're sitting, you're not doing anything. So you do the planning, you do the work, you do the studies, you do everything. But after all of that, it's like you didn't do anything and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please Allah, help me with this. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the support after you do all of this. And this is called the tawakkul. And this is really important. This is what distinguishes us as Muslims from others, is that we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us in our journey. It's not like we just work hard and we don't do anything. No, we work hard, but we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us in this journey. Now, remember the story of the Prophet Musa. Remember that when Musa alayhi salam was, a baby and Pharaoh asked to, kill all the males, etc. I'm sure you all know the story. And remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to his mother. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى أُمِّ مُوسَى أَنْ أَرْضِعِيهِ فَإِذَا خِفْتِ عَلَيْهِ فألقيه في اليم ولا تخافي ولا تحزني إن رادوه إليك وجعله من المرسلين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to his mother. Anybody want to say something? Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to his mother is that if you are afraid of anything, all you need to do is that to put him in a box and throw him in the sea. And don't worry about that. We're going to bring him back to you. Think about this story and think about the parents who are hearing me. Think about a mother who's going to put her baby in a box and throw him in the sea. It's very difficult. But see the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what he said, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to his mother, we're going to bring him back to you and he's going to become one of the prophets. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something is going to happen. There is nothing, that can stop, the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from happening. So that's why always make sure that you do the halal things. Make sure that you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help in your journey. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most powerful, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to happen, it will happen. So this is just the take-home message from this, is that always be on the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always remember this example. Always remember that if you are having a problem and you think it cannot be solved, trust me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the solution, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can solve this problem, no matter how difficult it looks. Let's move forward here. I think we're about to finish. So remember that every minute today is part of your future. I always tell students that. So use health and time wisely. And remember that what you have right now is that many people don't have it. If you go to the hospitals, you see many people on beds. They can't do anything. They're wishing to get their health back. Sometimes we think of money, but we forget other blessings that worth much more than money. Our health is worth much more than money. Our time that we have, we can invest this time, to for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make rewards, inshallah, the hereafter. But we can also use it, to help us do things that we enjoy this in this life. But having our intention that what we want to do is just ibadah. We want to do the job that we like in a halal way. We want to earn this income to support our families. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards us for that. And we want to do things, that can help us down the road. Now, I want to give you 3 golden pieces of advice. And in fact, one time I was in a workshop and there was that big guy who was working in one of these big companies, and he was hiring actually thousands and thousands of people. And he mentioned before, he leaves, he was like, I want to give you 3 pieces of advice. The first one is that keep learning. Don't stop learning. Whether you're learning about your religion, I mean, he didn't say religion because he was not talking about religion. He was talking general. But I'm telling you, learn about your religion, learn about the hadith, about the Quran. Again, make sure you learn from authentic sources. Trust me, there are many sources out there that might mention hadith about the Prophet ﷺ, but they're not hadith. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say them. So this is very dangerous. Make sure you learn from authentic sources. Always ask your parents, ask the sheikh, ask people that you trust to help you, learn from authentic sources. And the other thing is that make sure you have good mentors. Mentors can help you in life, actually. And sometimes these mentors, they can clarify things to you. Sometimes you might want to do something and you have a plan to do it in 5 years. You might meet a mentor who's going to give you a shortcut to do it in 1 or 2 months. I've had this in my life. I've seen these mentors. And the other thing is that you want to get out to your comfort zone sometimes. Sometimes it's like, okay, our zone is to do this, and that's it. And it's our nature as human beings to refuse to change or do things. You want to change this mentality, get out of your comfort zone. Let's say, for example, you want to learn something and you're like, okay, I'm doing engineering, I like it, but it doesn't hurt me to learn something about other things. Let's say psychology, let's say business. Your mind is going to start finding connections, especially for kids, because there are certain types of memory that are active and they're not active for adults. For example, the semantic memory is more active for kids. It helps them learn languages. When they get older, this kind of memory is going to be much less powerful. So that's why learning languages is much more effective when we try for kids. So get out of your comfort zone and try to do things that are new. Sometimes your mind is gonna start finding connections, and these connections can help you down the road in your life. So I keep saying, keep learning, never ever stop learning. Even if you finish your education, even if you are a PhD or whatever, or big professor, don't stop learning. The other thing is that make sure you have good mentors. Where can you meet these good mentors? You can, for example, go to, like I said, university events and you talk to professors, etc. Sometimes some of these professors, they might just click. You might say, okay, can I have your number, etc. Sometimes people are willing. You find nice people. Okay, take their number. You talk to them. They can help you. Sometimes, let's say you want to do internship, you want a letter of recommendation. That's when your network is gonna become powerful. That's when you want to use your network. And the other thing is that always try to do things outside your comfort level. Try to learn something new. And you guys are lucky right now. I mean, you have many resources from which you can learn from. When we are at your age, we didn't have that. Trust me. I mean, if we couldn't go and take, for example, a lecture in AI or anything, because it has to be offered by our school, or our parents have to put us in a place where we pay some registration fee and take it, if it's available, of course. But right now, you can even learn from YouTube. YouTube has lots of good things. Of course, it can be used in a bad way, yes. But we're talking about using things in a good way and using things, to our knowledge. And always remember, if you don't remember anything from this lecture, remember that your subconscious mind plays a huge role here. So the last time before you go to bed, the last 45 minutes, if you want to memorize a surah of the Holy Quran, make sure you read it. Make sure you reiterate your thinking. I want to become a doctor. I want to become good. I want to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I want to earn halal, come to help my family. Plus, I want to do other things that I enjoy in life in a halal way. There is nothing wrong with that. And I would say that's all from my side. I know we got 3 minutes. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Doctor. Jazakallah khair,
No
mashallah.
worries.
Very
Jazakumullah
interesting.
khairan.
Very interesting. It goes from educational, psychological, spiritual. MashaAllah. May Allah bless your family. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.
Jazakumullah khairan.
So keep on learning, have good mentor, get out of your comfort zone. Before closing, do you have any question?
Any questions from the audience?
We have few minutes for Dhuhr Salah.
And by the way, if you
Yeah,
see me in the masjid and have questions, you can always ask me, guys. I mean, it's not just this. So don't be afraid. Ask me questions anytime. That's fine.
Yeah. Dr. Khaldoun is available always Maghrib and Isha and Fajr, always. Dr. Muhammad Zulfaqar, you have question? Excellent. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, Jazakumullah khairan.
Assalamu
Thank you.
alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, so I just have just a little comment. Jazakallah khairan, Brother Khaldoun, for your lecture. This was so much
Jazakallah
needed,
khairan.
especially for our youth, especially in an education system and an environment where you see little or no motivation for education and everything. Everybody is like hooked into these social media, and nobody really gives a whole lot of attention to that, and we don't see the effect of it until later on in life. So my little comment is just more of, mirroring some of what you said in your lecture earlier, is that because there is not a whole lot of definition for the talents for a lot of our students and a lot of our youth in schools, we don't know what the kid is good at or what he wants to do until basically almost too late. The last year of high school, everybody's is confused what they want to do. And then they go and try 1 year or 2 years, and it's like, oh no, I don't like this. I'm gonna do something else. And the reason being is because even at the level of the school district or even at the Department of Education, nobody is giving a whole lot of attention to that. And my comment is this: is that there are things that a lot of our kids don't know. Is that they really do not know the elements what's going to constitute a career for them. So usually we confuse the two terms, which is the career and the job. There is an old American saying that goes like, if you find a job you like, you will never have to work a day in your life. Meaning when you find a job that you want to do, you don't feel like you're working it every day. You don't feel like so tired, oh, you know what, I just have to go there because I have to make the money and I have to support my family. And so you find even a lot of people around us that do this on a daily basis. A lot of people are not happy with whatever they're doing because there was not a whole lot of effort into the orientation. So I read once in a book, that's what I want to share with you, and I want to make it in longer. The book is called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And it talks about this strategy. It's called the hedgehog concept or the hedgehog strategy, meaning that, and it is applied to companies, but it is applied also at the individual level, which is, what is, first of all, for us to find a career for our kids later on in high school and beyond, what is the one thing? There are three elements that mirrors whatever you said earlier, Brother Khaldoun. What is the first thing that we need to ask ourselves and ask our kids? What is something that you're really good at, or you can hone the skills to get it? So for instance, I want to be a math teacher. First of all, I have to be good at math. I have to be really good at it, or I have the opportunity to be good at it. So that's one. That's number one that needs to be fulfilled. Number two is that, am I willing to actually teach math? Because there are a lot of people that are so good at something, but they don't want to teach it. They really don't have either the will or the drive or even the motivation to do it. I don't want to be sitting there with a bunch of kids teaching math. I already know this stuff. It's just, for me, it's hard for me to just teach a bunch of kids. So there has to be that number two element fulfilled. I have to be willing to teach math, right? And the number three, which is the last one, oddly enough, is the lucrative part. Is it going to make me money? Is it going to make me, is it going to be, is this career, this job is going to be able to make me support my family? So if those three are fulfilled, one is to like, to be good, I have to have the talent for it. Two, be willing to do it. And three, it's going to make me money. If those three are fulfilled, then now we're going to have a generation that's being good at what they do, and they're willing to do it. So that's the only thing that I wanted to share with you, Brother Khaldoun, and with the rest of the participants. So Jazakallah khairan for coming out, and inshallah we'll see each other again next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Very good points. Yeah.
Jazakallah khair, mashallah. We reached to the end. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Khaldoun, professor at Texas A&M University, Central Texas, mashallah. This session runs by Aman Institute. Aman Institute established to help youth and families for current and future life. Jazakumullah khaira. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام. شكرا دكتور. جزاك الله خير.
جزاكم الله خيرا. جزاكم الله خيرا.
عليكم السلام.
عليكم السلام.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام.
Bye. See you on Wednesday.
إن شاء الله. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. السلام عليكم.
Walaikum assalam. Bye.
السلام عليكم. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.